Oh. I want snow keyframe. Whatever, I don't know. I guess it's not from something I'm pressing. Anyway, so we're back to the last two maps of Gossip.
Yep.
And for no reason in particular, I just decided to play in DSDA. And maybe there's gonna be like a berserk somewhere and I will punch something finally. Because my Aegis Doom, whatever it is about it, is completely borked. I cannot punch anything properly. So what I'm seeing here, what I'm picking up is that everything is black. And I have to pick, I'm gonna go right. Maybe there was a button or something, but oh well, then I will not have the chain gun. Ah. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll...
that's one of the areas that was kind of broken in GL and the hardware rendering in DSDA. Because if you look up this structure, you see there's like those two parts that are higher, and the middle one is lower. So that's basically done. You know, the ceiling is lowered, and it didn't have any texture. And in software that looks okay, but in OpenGL for some reason it tries to render it or something, and there's like a very bright texture that's glitching out.
Huh.
And I never noticed it before 1.0 because I never used OpenGL for testing. I only saw it when people were playing it, and that's one of the main reasons why I added the black textures, because now that's just a black texture over there.
I wonder if you're seeing this in Discord, because this is disgraceful.
Yeah, I see it.
You better fix it.
I had a couple of problems like this in map 2 as well, where I was sure I had I had this addressed, and then I was like, I think I watched Hippocat play map 2, and I was like, what? There's a misalignment. By the way, this walkway. I think I mentioned it somewhere, but I'm not sure when that was or if that even happened. So as you can see, there are pillars 32 by 32,
Yep.
and there are gaps that are also 32. And I was like, well, surely that's not a problem. And then it turned out that I actually managed to fall down in this place, like just down through this 32 gap. And of course, that probably wouldn't happen in GZ Doom, but it did happen in PR Boom. So at the end of the day, this is like this entire corridor is just it's just a flat floor, and the pit is just a visual thing.
The helmets are probably actually blood. Oh, blood is fine. Okay. Then the
Yeah, I mean, blood should be fine.
unless you count some diseases you can get from it, I guess. But that's long term.
Yeah, that's what I always thought that like that's probably how damage in blood works. But I was actually surprised that it might have been mentioned like a long time ago. I was actually surprised because somebody asked Sandy Pearson about like why is blood damaging, and I think he said that this was supposed to be lava or something, and that's why they used, or at least he used, like damaging blood because he saw it as lava. Well, I don't know how it looks like a lava, but that's what he said. Yeah, so this place, two things to say about it. First is that light effect. As you can see, let me just look at it. Yeah, so it basically goes fast and then it goes slowly. And if you wonder how that's done, then I can tell you I have no idea. Basically, I wanted to do this fast effect, but I think, and it's on a loop, of course. So I think it's just too fast, and it crosses the lines again before they have a chance to before the light effect actually goes all the way through. And somehow that happens, and I was like, I have no idea why, but I thought it was pretty cool, so I left it.
Honestly, I wouldn't have noticed that, the lights that move have the instant light and then the slightly not so instant light. I keep forgetting, you just have like a conveyor for all of these light sectors in a row that just like activates them a little, makes them bright, right? So it's not like...
It sets them to 55, but they are set to blink, the sector special. I said no, not blink. I always say blink. What's the other one? Not blink, but
There's
glow.
glow, yeah, yeah.
And if they are dark and they have glow, and you set them to 255, then they light up and they go back to 0. So that's how it works. Yeah, and the other thing is this view, this view took so long to make,
Huh.
and it's kind of funny because like you don't really have a reason to look in that direction, but it was actually, especially with all the like fake floors, it was quite a lot of work, and because I wanted it to look okay at an odd chance that you are actually gonna odd chance, and
Off chance, I think.
in case the player actually looks back.
Mhm.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because I've recently, well, last week, and you died.
Naturally.
Uh,
Ah.
yeah, Killer 5 has posted a demo of this level, and basically, I thought that this level is pretty strict when it comes to ammo. And of course, when he was demo recording, he just like he had so much left that I was like, oh, okay, I have to remove like half of the ammo from this level. So it's gonna be interesting how uh, how a more casual playthrough is gonna look like. Well, I've already seen some like first playthroughs. Actually, one. No, I've seen two. Okay, I've seen two. I've seen Vile and Jack DBS play this like blind. But it's gonna be interesting how the ammo distribution works out for you here.
Speaking of Vile, I like how he appeared immediately as you said Vile. Oh boy. Well, a good thing that I'm playing in this port now that I can punch people finally. There was actually a berserk here, what do you know?
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil, but I was like, when you were saying like, I wonder if this level has a lot of punching, and I was thinking about this place, and I was like, okay, I probably should not tell you to play on GZD.
Ah.
So I'm probably just getting ahead of myself a little bit, but basically,
Ah.
again, this is one of those things where if you're gonna reload after falling down, you would not notice this anyway. But basically, those pillars with teleporters, they will just like they're all raised right now except for this one. But
Ah.
as you progress, like this one to the left, that's gonna lower when it actually becomes relevant. So like you step by step kind of unlock those shortcuts. So you can't like run across the damaging floor and like get to the teleporter that takes you to the exit or something.
Okay, this isn't working.
It's
No.
probably not the good place to be.
Yeah. I need slightly more room to strafe left and right. Oh, he is being squished. Okay, nice. Very kind of you.
Yeah, it's what I always what I've said at some point.
Yeah, I
that-
remember, you always squish people. Oh, what the hell? One was not enough.
Well, basically every time there is a second demon, either there are enough monsters to kill it, or I mean, I guess there are three options. Either you have enough ammo to kill it, or there are monsters that are gonna kill it or almost kill it, or there's gonna be just a crusher that will kill it for you, so that you don't have to like. Because again, I mean, unless it's deliberate that you're supposed to fight it, then no, killing a cyber demon, especially in an open space, is not exactly exciting because you're
Eh.
just slowly chipping away its health.
I mean, if this guy... why did I stand there? I wonder if this would have worked if he was allowed to move around, or if it would be completely too chaotic. I guess, remembering previous levels, it wouldn't be too chaotic for you, but... I think if this guy was moving around, this would be fun enough to finish him off anyway, after everyone else is dead. But since he is standing very deliberately under this crusher, that would be slightly more boring. I don't really have an opinion on the shape, but I really want to try to like chip a corner of it and take it home. Looks like I could do it, but well.
this place was basically when I was working on this level, I did the first few areas, and then I had a massive mapper's block. For a long time I had no idea what to do with this level. For some reason I was just completely out of ideas. Like I had rough ideas, but nothing too specific. And I was just trying to do something, whatever, just force myself to work. And that was one of the first areas that I made with that attitude, just trying to come up with something that looks interesting. This is another place that took quite a lot of time and effort to make it look the way I wanted. It was yeah, especially well now that that's not the time to look around, but that entire that side that took a lot of time to figure out how to make it look like at least somewhat interesting. Because once again, this was still the phase where I had no idea what I was doing and what I'm supposed to do, and it's always frustrating because it's like, again, there's map 8, but this was supposed to be the final level when I started it. So it was kind of frustrating that that's I only have one level to make and I have no idea what to do. Just complete mapper's block, and that was not pleasant. I was not in my happy place at the time.
This guy's too close. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Everyone go away. Okay, now things should turn up, or whatever. Go away. You're too tanky for this. Go away. There we go. Oh boy, I cannot afford any more of that. If only I had. Oh, nice. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so I guess it makes sense that if you run around, you're kind of corralling them into being close to each other in a group. Go away, asshole, asshole, asshole. Now I can see. Well, hopefully this will be enough. No, 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 no. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, so in case you're wondering, the reason it looks like this is because this is not supposed to happen. This is something that was discovered by Jack DPS. Essentially, yeah, this is not supposed to happen.
Well,
because you're supposed to go here. And in the new version, my current in my current build, this crusher just does not activate when you're here. It activates after you leave. So this will. It's one of those things I didn't even notice because, again, I know what you have to do. So it never occurred to me to try to actually stay here long enough to see what happens when the crusher goes down.
Interesting. You know, it's very annoying that you cannot, like, forcibly tie some sectors together so they don't desync. Like, one reason why it's annoying to have elevators with detail around them, because if you have several sectors of elevators, you know there's gonna be someone who just like blocks part of it, and then the elevator breaks into parts.
Yeah, I actually had a bunch of elevators or lifts in Gossip where, you know, that were multi-sector lifts, and I think in most cases I ended up just turning them into single sector lifts to prevent that. Yeah, so, oh yeah, by the way.
Oh, wait. I was thinking I would have to platform, sorry.
Yeah, these cube sections, so that was... I kind of wanted to have this, like, you know, the classic, typical cube room. But I made the cube, that the first one that you've seen with a crusher. It was just lighting, it had no details. And I was like, okay, that looks pretty abstract. But then I added those like lights and stuff like that, and I was like, that also looks pretty interesting. Then I made it a version with blue lights. It's like, okay, that also looks pretty nice. And I couldn't decide which one I wanted to use, so I decided to use all of them
Nice.
just in this sequence.
I guess it's not as annoying as I expected. I keep expecting to like catch on the wall and fall down like a rock instead of jumping properly.
Yeah, this is inspired by the bridge from Half-Life 2. When you
Yeah,
like go underneath the bridge. I mean, of course, it's not supposed to be a recreation. It's just inspired by it. But there's like, there's this thing that those pillars are keeping like above it. But of course, you cannot go there because there will be floor above another floor. And there's like a little trick to make this section way easier than it looks. Namely, there are some, if you see those horizontal metal parts that you were standing on, there are actually additional steps around them that are invisible, so that when you jump, it feels like you have to jump like really hard to make it, but it's actually way easier than it looks. Now thinking about it, it's one of the main things I remember from making this level is how, well, I mentioned this in one of the sections, that it was actually really difficult to make it look like I wanted it. It was, for some reason, even the simplest things were kind of problematic. And like the lighting, the shading, all of that, I struggled a lot with, especially with the areas in the big chamber, because that's something that you see all the time when you're when you're outside, so to speak. Like um,
okay.
originally this was supposed to be more of a void level. I was experimenting with making like uh, you know like the all the structures would, like the close, like closer to the ground, they would get darker. But I wanted to have I ended up having some platforming elements, so when the player falls, they have to fall somewhere, not into the void. So I ended up making the floor like as usual.
You often have like very good ammo left over that was not here. I keep thinking, man, I'm not doing it the difficult way or like the fair way with the ammo provided if I'm using something that I just happen to have from another fight. And on one hand it feels nice to be resourceful. On the other hand, I want to experience the fight exactly as you were expecting people to be able to beat it, and it's kind of annoying. But maybe that's what
Yes.
replayings are for.
Yeah, I was going to say something about that place, but you teleported away, so it's too
Whoops!
late now.
I'm back here, and look at that magic.
Yeah, yeah. Just look at that. What was that? Satyr face? Not Satyr. Yeah, this face.
The
It's like,
Louis de Finet.
looks kind of like a bird with the wings.
Huh.
That's not really intentional. I just made it, and I was like, oh, okay. It kind of looks like some kind of a, yeah, like a bird, I guess, or some other flying
A
creature.
bird with a human face.
Yeah.
I feel like definitely there were birds with human faces in Greek mythology somewhere. Maybe like the sirens look like that. I don't remember. Maybe the harpies.
Yeah, and the other thing is that what you were just saying about having leftover stuff, that's actually something that I've been thinking about when I was watching Killer 5 play this level. Because he was like, I told you that before, that he was so resourceful that he had so much leftover stuff, he was basically just almost short-circuiting some of the fights because he had so much like plasma ammunition.
Hmm.
And I was like, it's kind of difficult because it's, I mean, at one hand it's fair that if the player plays really well, they have extra stuff. On the other, like, how are you supposed to balance it to make sure that
Yeah.
there's enough? Because especially in Doom, like there are so many ways to save ammunition through infighting and punching and stuff like that, that potentially like it's difficult to make sure, especially here, like you're gonna see well, I think it's not much of a surprise that there's a BFG in this level.
Mm.
Again, like this can cause. I mean, depending on how you play and how much stuff you carry from previous fights, some stuff can be very easily trivialized, and that's I I've I'm constantly thinking like I want to make some tweaks for like the final build, but I really just kind of don't know what to do with this because if I remove ammo, then people who play normally blind, uh, they will not have enough ammo, and it will be balanced for the people who demo record, which is obviously not good. Uh,
Yeah, fuck those people.
yeah, but
Everybody
if
hates
I
those people.
but if, but if I keep it like this, then you figure out how to do a fight, and it's like next time it's gonna be like super easy because you will know exactly where you can save ammunition and stuff like that. So I don't really have like a good solution in my mind.
You know, you should have made Gossip a megawatt by splitting every level where every fight has a death exit, and then the next level is the next fight. That way you can control exactly how much ammo you get for every fight. And as a
That
bonus, you have like a 60 levels.
yeah.
And everyone loves short levels as well, like Scythe. So it's gonna be 60 really short levels. Then everyone can just like cheat, like level select to that level just to play that one fight. Actually, there's something to that. There's something to that idea. Maybe it's worth considering. I actually wanted to say, I feel like the aspect of having leftover like unexpected ammunition for fights mostly works when levels are completely like open non-linear, where you cannot actually like control or expect where people will have gone prior to any fight and what they could bring from there, where it's all up to you, and the choices you make give you more or less resources for every fight. And when the level is more of like a linear sequence of fights, almost feels like the aspect of being able to bring leftover ammo should be eliminated completely somehow, even though it's not possible in vanilla Doom. But the more I think about this, the more I'm just coming to realize that yes, I think just completely open non-linear levels are literally just the best way to make Doom and play Doom. But also this like 3-tier floor here for such a tiny ledge, I feel like this is excessive. This is self-indulgent. Sometimes you gotta know when to stop.
Not to mention that there's this like red rock thingy in the middle that just multiplies all those lines.
Oh yeah, that's probably gonna. But that was very fun to keep track of in the editor, I bet.
Yeah, these areas I don't actually remember exactly, but especially in the area that you're going into right now, uh, I've spent so much time doing like light transfer sectors and all sorts of stuff. Like it's really funny how it's probably like it's one of those things that it doesn't really look that impressive. Compared to the amount of work I had to put into it to make it look like this. This fight was actually, I don't know, maybe it's nerfed a little bit too hard, but I nerfed it in one of the versions.
That was a
There
fight.
there were like twice as many Hell Knights, and basically, if you did like, if you didn't have enough leftover ammo, then you had absolutely no chance of winning.
Oh.
So it was again this consistent problem of like how much ammo the player is gonna carry from other places. So this is I don't know if you've seen this part when I was talking about it in the thread.
Yeah, I think I have some non-liminal stuff.
Yeah, I was experimenting with this, and it didn't work out exactly, or it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. So I basically deleted all of those experiments, except for this one. I decided to use this one. Anyway, I just decided to implement it because again, this is like just a little thing, and yeah, I Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool. It's something to survive this prototype stage.
Some tell me I'm not gonna be able to pick that one up. uh, evil. Evil.
Okay, so here I want you to just, I mean, you don't have to make a separate save. Just make a save that you're not gonna overwrite because there's something I want you to see.
Okay. Huh. I heard a
Okay.
door. If you didn't know I had a door open. I wonder if that was like a conveyor door somewhere.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you load, you probably don't remember, but try pressing the buttons in different order.
I'm gonna guess that whatever way out of here, they're all gonna go. Oh, that's not even a way out of here. Never mind.
So this is I talked about this on the forum. Well, I didn't describe it exactly. Basically, this is the dumbest thing I've done. The most overcomplicated thing I've done in this project, I think. Essentially, there are three buttons, and like you have to press them like three phases. So you have to light up because you see you press a switch and a light goes up near it. So you have to press like the first, the second, and the third. That's like the first phase. Then you press them again. That's the second phase, and the third phase opens the exit. And the idea is that depending on the order in which you press them, something different happens in this room. And this is so there's like how many? Huh. I should have looked up how many options there are, but there are many, many different options, and this is extremely overcomplicated. I've spent like an entire day building a conveyor mechanism for this.
Well, if it's one day, honestly, it doesn't feel like it's too much. Then again, it's nothing. It's something no one will know about unless you tell them.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing. Is that it's it's completely pointless. It doesn't do anything for the player really, and most people would never even notice this unless they play more than once. And I still have spent like a whole day on this. In this area, I just briefly mentioned that this one gave me a lot of trouble. Again, you may not think it when you look at it, that it's because it's not like super maybe super original, but again, I was really struggling with ideas, and I had I definitely had one version of this room that was pretty much complete, and I've spent many hours on it. I mean, I still have it, but I looked at it and was like, okay, it looks cool, but I don't. Something's not clicking. So I basically just deleted it and started doing it completely from scratch. And I had like at least 3 or 4 different versions of this area, of this particular place. And I just couldn't decide on which. I mean, not that I couldn't decide. It's just I couldn't get it right. It was just not working for me. So it was. I don't think any other area in Gossip has given me this much trouble to just
Huh.
come up with like something to, make it work somehow.
Do you start with the shape and then the fight and then the looks of it, of everything, and how to make it look cool, or how what order is in which you're trying to, in which you're like making these rooms?
The order is that I always come up with what kind of fight is gonna happen last.
Last. Okay, well, that
I almost there are some exceptions, but in majority of cases, I just make the area first and then just try. I mean, I am somewhat paying attention to so that it's not too small, too big, or stuff like that. But I usually come up with like a specific scenario for the fight, like afterwards.
Oh, hey, we've got this place kind of looking once again like the forest from the previous level.
By the way, this is, I mentioned this place like 3 times. That's the one where, you know, pretty fake floors where, the floor is completely flat,
Mm.
but because it was awful here. Like you were just the view was just jumping up and down like crazy. So I just made the entire floor completely flat, and it's just a visual thing, the whole structure on the floor. This, by the way, is I'll probably tweak this fight somehow.
What, is it too easy?
Yeah,
Ah.
it's too easy.
Hmm.
Then again, I mean, again, it's one of those fights that if you had like a lot of cells, you could just break it completely. Um, but like I said, I don't really have a good solution for that.
I still think you should consider splitting levels into like 60 levels.
Sure. But of course, I'm gonna do it in a way that, I'm not gonna like cut them. I'm just gonna limit the player's movement area to the specific fight. So like let's say I divide this level into like 20 parts. So it's gonna be, every part is gonna contain the full level. It's just you'll be able to visit a small portion of it.
Yeah, because otherwise you would have so many land deaths freed up that you would not have an excuse to not like super decorate everything again.
Yeah, this is like, for you, this fight worked out exactly as I intended. But like when Killer 5 was playing it, he just went in with the BFG, destroyed everything like with 3 shots, and then he was just waiting for like 30 seconds for the key to lower. So it's so dependent on how many cells you have that, again, I'm not sure how to address this. Oh, by the way, so I can finally talk about this. So you may or may not have noticed that this is a tower, and you started at the bottom, and you see this thing in the middle. You've seen this on every floor. You've seen it from the bottom at the very. I mean, didn't kill the cybers, but if you want, you can just backtrack all the way, and you can just you'll be able to see that you see this thing in the middle, like from the bottom, and then you see it in the middle of every floor to kind of indicate that this is like, you see, there it is. And this is all done with silent teleporters, of course. So the idea was that I had this tower, and originally I just wanted to, just fill up the space in the tower itself. But then I felt like, what if I do silent teleporters and just have multiple floors? It's gonna be a lot more work, but if it works, it's gonna be cool. So of course that's what I did. I made, how many? There are like 3 floors, and the final floor that with the imps. That's the smallest one. And it was actually, I'm very, very happy with how it turned out, because 1, it's pretty seamless, and 2, it's actually way more complicated than you might think, because you might have noticed that as you were ascending the tower, well, at some points you could see like through the cracks into the big chamber where the tower is. And of course, because each floor is outside of the map, it was not an easy thing to do. So like essentially, like, okay, so you're at the bottom floor, then you enter a small portion that's in the main tower, in the big chamber, and then you teleport again to the second floor. So it's like there are those transition points that are actually in the big chamber, because I need you to be able to see through the cracks that you are like outside of it. Like, you can, once you finish the level, I can probably show it more clearly, because when I'm just describing it, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I understand. Like the little windows or whatever, the parts where you have a view of the overall like vista are all like fair, like honestly where they are meant to be, but the other parts use teleporters to use floor over
Yeah,
floor.
here
Kind of.
I don't think you can see them here, but yeah, so yeah, so it was a kind of a gamble because I wasn't exactly sure if I would be able to completely like fit everything, all the transition areas that are in the main tower. Because in the main tower, the legit tower, I needed this final floor, and I needed space for all the parts that where you can like see outside of the tower. So that was actually a bit of a gamble, but it worked out in the end. And also this tower, this broken tower, I think I told you about it in our Doom World conversations at some point. I've spent a lot of time making it look not like complete garbage because the shading, because without shading it of course looked terrible. I added shading, but because of the 90-degree walls, it was very difficult to actually get it right. So at the end of the day, at this final version, every single line depth in this tower is angled, so that they all have like the equal they are equally affected by the light. It was a lot of work. It was very tedious to do, but that's the best I could do for this particular tower. I tried to make it green in order to
Oh,
circumvent it, but it was so bright that it just looked terrible. So
you know, in some games, in some shooter games, even you can see the combinations of enemy and weapons that authors just were sure were fun, and you keep having the same ammo for the same enemies in different fights. And I feel like you're specifically strangely fond of rockets with cacodemons.
of course, because they get pushed back, and it's always fun. Actually, this is it just occurs to me. It's a complete coincidence. I forgot about it, but it's actually good that you're not playing this in GZ Doom, because this fight is pretty miserable in GZ Doom, and I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. Essentially, the cacodemons here, they have the tendency, because the ceiling is super high, and
Ah,
they tend to just fly up, and then they just stay there. Like in DSDA, that's not gonna happen, because even if they fly up, they're not gonna fly up that high, and then they're just gonna come down very quickly. In GZ Doom, I had this like when I was testing, it was just taking forever for them to come down, and I was literally just sitting there and waiting for them to fly down. And yeah, I don't know if there's like anything I can do to actually address this. I don't think so.
honestly, I feel like you could use like invisible ceilings that are pretty low,
Mm,
and just put a ceiling so that they are completely limited to where they could ascend. Or just say, hey, this is my tribute to my favorite game, Blood, where all the flying enemies just like go away and never return.
I kind of like how this. Maybe it's just me. I like how this section just keeps going because it's you don't really have any indication of how much is left. So you just keep going, you keep doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and it just it's like how much longer do I have to I have to do this? So what is left to be said about this? The first thing is that in case that wasn't too obvious, the entire layout of this level is based on one of my favorite Doom 2 levels, which is the Living End.
Hmm.
You start, there's a lift with a chain gun. You go right, eventually you press the switch that lets you go to the left, and you basically just go around the entire area, and the exit is in the middle. That's basically the general idea for the layout of this. Well, I guess you know this because I already told you, but in case anyone else wonders, somebody said this that like this map kind of ends in a weird way because there is no really big fight here.
Hmm.
It has this like maze. I mean, it has a maze with archviles, but then it has like this silent teleport maze, and you just kind of go to the exit after you get all the keys, and it's like, uh, I guess it's kind of weird that it ends like in such a way. And so, if anybody well, you probably know, but if anyone else
Mm-hmm.
wonders why that is, it's because, as I probably mentioned, map 8, which is the finale, was originally supposed to be at the end of this level. So what you see in map 8 was supposed to be the ending of this. So you would go there into this pillar, teleport to the final place where there's like a giant final encounter or something. But since I realized that I may run out of lines to make it, like a proper ending because it's not only the ending of the map, it's also the ending of the entire map set. So I wanted it to be something like I didn't want to hold back with it. So in order to do that, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna move it to the separate map slot. I will have all the lines that I need, and I will not have to worry about anything. I can just make it whatever I want. And yeah, that's basically why the ending of map 7 is just the map 7 just kind of ends without any giant fight, because the giant fight at the end of map 7 was supposed to be this.
You know, I was just gonna say, like, the music here is kind of. It sounds like I'm gonna have a truck rally.
What you gonna have?
You know, trucks. People drive trucks. And
Yeah.
rally. So I'm gonna have like a truck. You know, I'm gonna drive trucks. Maybe I will shoot rockets at some people also, but mostly I'm gonna drive trucks. And right now I'm like in a dirt, like, I don't know, clearing with a bunch of trucks and a bunch of people in overalls and caps, and everyone is drinking beer. And now we're gonna go in our trucks and we're gonna drive like crossroad, off-road rather, whatever. This is the music that makes me. It's like really like, hell yeah, brother, kinda.
Yeah.
Maybe bikes, but mostly trucks. I'm thinking trucks. Oh well. I'm gonna stop recording now, so there we go.